Hey, what's up, people? This is Ike Love, creator and author of the blog The Viable Alternative, which is an inspirational blog where I share the wisdom and insights gained along my path of becoming a greater, stronger version of myself. And if you want to read more on the blog, and if you're on YouTube, you can click under the link where it says show more and go to www.theviablealternative.com, or just go directly to www.theviablealternative.com. So, today what I want to talk about is some of you are not allowed to settle. And well, some of you who are watching, should I start with this or should I just say it? Okay, no. Some of you who are watching now, nothing seems to be going right for you. You're stagnant. You feel you have a spate of bad luck. You feel you can't get a break. You feel you just have bad timing. Things just, the stars don't seem to be aligned for you. And it's not a matter of let me just wait this out or blah, blah, blah. It just seems something has been just going on for years. Like you just seem to be off your rhythm, or you just seem to just be stuck in some type of rut. You may even be forced to call it like bad luck. And if it's not even extreme as bad luck, you just seem to feel like things are just moving slowly. Things just seem to be off kilter. Things just do not seem to be going your way. As you see other people in your life who just seem to, they may hit a rough patch, they get off the rough patch, and then they all of a sudden things start moving forward. You don't seem to be getting that in your life. And I'm going to suggest to you possibly what the hell may be going on in your life and why you may be experiencing something like this. Well, let me take you back to that famous biblical story of Jonah and the whale. Now, whether you believe in God or not, or believe in the Bible or not, you can appreciate the symbolism of what this story is communicating. Now, to reiterate, if you don't know the story of Jonah and the whale, I've not read the story in a long time, but I can kind of paraphrase it to give you the gist of what happened in the story. And God forgive me if I mess some stuff up. Basically speaking, the message is solid. I do know the message behind the story or what was communicated to me. And again, you can appreciate this no matter what your spiritual beliefs are. Just if you're now ranting and raving to me, why the hell are you telling me this religious stuff? Just shut the hell up and listen to this lesson of the story, all right? Or you don't have to believe or you can be of whatever religion and appreciate the symbolism, the meaning behind it. Anyway, so basically speaking, Jonah was called upon by God to speak to, I believe, wasn't the Ninevites. I think he was sent to speak to a certain city about their wickedness, and to tell them that if they did not repent from their wicked ways, God was going to destroy them. Jonah did not want to go and preach against the city, so he decided to run from God's message, and he decided to run the opposite direction. So what had happened is that he got on a boat and told the people in the boat to steer him in a certain direction away from where he was told to go. Now, in the middle of this ride, this huge sea storm hit, and the boat is being tossed through and to and fro, and the people, the passengers on the or the rowers, the passengers, or whatever who are on this boat start panicking, and they're calling out to their gods, save us, we're about to die, and they call to Jonah and tell Jonah, call to your God and have him save us and stop these storms or whatever. And Jonah said, no, listen, I am the cause of what's going on in this boat, these storms here. If you throw me aboard, the storms will stop. And the guys, they didn't want to throw him aboard, and the severity or the fierceness of the storms increased. And finally, they were compelled to throw Jonah overboard. And immediately the storm stopped. I think it was immediately the storm stopped. Yeah, the storm stopped after they threw him overboard. The seas calmed. And as Jonah was thrown overboard, he was swallowed by a big fish. The Bible says big fish. Some people want to say whale, whatever the animal that was big enough to swallow him. And he stayed in the belly of the beast. I'm laughing at the belly of the beast because a friend of mine likes to use that word. He stayed in the belly of the beast. I'm sorry, it's a friend. I was thinking about that. He stayed in the belly of the beast for 3 days until finally he repented of his disobedience towards the destiny that he was sent to do, and said he was willing to go now and do what he was called to do. And the whale vomited him on shore, and Jonah went to go and preach his destiny. And then the rest of it is that the people, they repented and they were saved. So what is the meaning of all this? Is that Jonah was called to do something in his life. He was sent on a specific purpose, a specific destiny, and he refused to do it. And so all these storms happened in his life, and he basically then was swallowed by a fish and held somewhere. He was held in a certain position in life. He was held in the belly of the beast. So he was held in a situation until he decided that I'm going to go face my destiny. And that's when the yoke was released from him. That's when the walls, that's when the doors were opened, or the gates of the prison that he was held in was released, symbolically speaking, and he went and faced his destiny. So what that means in life is that from what I've learned and from what I've personally witnessed in my life, some of you watching this are just not allowed to settle. And it sucks. Yeah, I know. It sucks because there are some people I've noticed in life who have an extraordinary talent. They may be good musically, they may be a great writer, they may be a great painter or artist, they may have a great voice, they may be good at cooking, whatever, they're great at it. If they went and pursued it, they make $1 million, they inspire millions of people, but they decide not to do it. They decide to take some regular 9-to-5 job, whether it's a welder or an electrician, or they decide to work for, if you live in New York, the MTA and drive subways, or to become a mechanic, or they just do something that's completely has nothing to do with their call or their gift, right? And funny enough, life just leaves them alone. They they do their electrician work. They may do their little hobby on weekends. They may not. They may say, I'll do it when I retire. Or they may touch upon it once or twice more in their life, but they just kind of leave it alone, and they just call it that thing I'm good at, and if I use it, maybe I'll do it. Or maybe just don't believe in themselves or whatever. But the point of the matter is that, life just leaves them alone. They don't have to do it, and blah, 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 and they live a good old life. They may die never using their gift, and whatever, that's fine. Then there's some people who have an extraordinary talent or gift. And they decide, well, I don't believe in myself, or it's going to be too hard, or I'm not good enough, and everything like that. And so I'm not going to pursue this gift. And what happens, basically speaking, their whole life starts to crumble. Nothing works out for them. Everything they try and attempt to do just does not work out. They seem stagnant. They seem stuck in certain situations. They seem to have closed doors in their life, and they can't seem to get that door open to get them go into a different level. This falls apart. That falls apart. Things just fall apart around them, and nothing seems to be working on their life. And basically speaking, these people, when they decide to finally pursue their destiny, everything just starts to fall into place. Why? Because kind of God is saying, no, you will do this in this life, or nothing will work out for you whatsoever. You will do what I said for you to do in this life. Now you might ask me, if you're one of these people, why me? I don't know. I'm not God, Some people, I guess God feels that whatever they have to do is so important that he will not allow them to go through this life without achieving this specific destiny. And I don't know, it sucks. It sucks, but it doesn't suck, because hey, you get to live a life of significance and do something whether you like it or not. And when you face it, you will actually like it because it's a part of you. So if you are now experiencing stagnation and frustration and continuous bad luck, missed breaks, missed opportunities, you can't seem to get a break in life, everything is falling apart around you, it's been falling apart. Other people, tell you it's a season, but it hasn't been a season, it's been like forever, Well, that's because maybe you're avoiding your destiny. Maybe there's something in your heart that you know you really, really should do, but you're just too afraid. You keep on making excuses. You don't want to put in the sacrifice. You don't want to put in the time to do it. And so therefore you decided to run, or you decide to ignore it. But like you said, life is making it increasingly harder for you to ignore it because this is what you have to do. So my only answers for you is get the hell up and do it. And I will close the story about a friend of mine who I witnessed with. I grew up with him, known my entire life, and the guy is a very talented artist. He's great with the pen. At the age of 2, he can grow. He was able to draw better than my grown ass can do right now. You know what I'm saying? At the age of 2. I mean, look, I can take masters in this course. This guy can read a book and draw better than I can. He just had the talent, you know? As a little kid, he used to say he wanted to be a cartoonist, that he wanted to draw, you know, when he grew up, and blah, blah, blah. You know, when you ask each other, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? He used to say that. But as he got older, and I guess, you know, got rejections here and there. I think he tried to go to LaGuardia, he didn't get in, and, you know, people say this and that. You know, yeah, I think he went to college to pursue his art, but after that, you know, he didn't finish his degree. I think he did 3 years or whatever, which is neither here nor there, but he never finished the degree. But then he went out to the real world and decided to become a stockbroker. That completely fell apart. Decided to do insurance. That completely fell apart. He tried this job and that job. That completely fell apart. I think at one point he became a corrections officer, and that completely fell apart. Then he decided to apply for some several city jobs, and, you know, his other friend got called back. He did not get called back. And over the years, several times, I would tell him, dude, you know what, man? And I told him the scenario here. I just think, personally, for you, you are just not allowed to settle. I don't know why, but God has it in his mind that whatever you have to do, whatever gift he put in your heart is so important that he will not let you live this life without going to pursue it. And he still kind of didn't want to listen and did this and did that and blah, blah, blah. Then his son was born, and he decided that he wanted to be a role model for his son. And so he decided that he was going to start pursuing a career in the arts. And he got some job that had nothing to do with the arts, but he started to rise in the ranks. He taught himself Photoshop, and which he just took to much ease, you know, because he, like I said, he's naturally gifted. He just took to ease. Like the work he did from reading 2 books was better than I can do by undergoing a whole college course in this. He just picked it up easy because he's a natural artist. He just is what he's supposed to be freaking doing, you know? So, yeah, so he was at the job, and, you know, he was rising to the rank. And now, it wasn't an easy journey, you know? There were roadblocks in his way. As, you know, anything in life that's worthwhile, there will be roadblocks in your way to strengthen you and make you stronger so that you can be hardened for the task that you have to do. You can be honed, you know? It's like having a coal being pressure being put in cold so it become a diamond, right? So it was, you know, he was tested along the way, you know what I mean? You know, there were positions open in his job that he wasn't getting and he was being overlooked for, but he persisted through. And finally one day he was given an art job at his job. I think the owner of the company saw his work and was like, who the hell did this? And he was like, this is you? You see, we have 2 positions open, you're hired, you know? And funny enough, things from that moment started falling into place for him. He met a girl that he's still with right now. He got selected in a lottery where thousands of people applied for middle income housing. You know how expensive rent is now? He got hooked up with this middle income housing place where people apply to. He got selected for it, got a nice pad, you know, that he's not paying too much for. You know, then he went on, ideas started coming in his head for him to start his own company. He was laid off, went to start an own company, and things are just now working out like flowing for him. And of course it's not easy. He has to, you know, learn the process of being a businessman, but it's like you can see the flow. You can see the flow in his life, you know? And you can say that you can see just his increase of self-confidence and self-esteem because he's not rejecting himself anymore. He's accepting who he is, he's accepting his destiny, and things are just flowing for him in the way that things are need to do, that in a way that nobody else can orchestrate, but God, or if you believe in the universe, God or universe or whatever, things are just orchestrated because he's aligned himself. So, for someone like you who's having a crappy life right now because you want to, you think you want to do A, B, C, and D, and it's not working out for you because nobody wants to hire you. Well, in actuality, you were meant to do F or G. Well, A, B, C, D, and E will continue to suck for you because that's not what you were meant to do. You were running. But once you face F or G, that is when life becomes to be like magic. And also you would have gained back your soul. So I hope this is an answer for you people who are frustrated and seem stuck. This may be an answer. The answer is stop being a bitch. Anyway, so I hope all this helps. If you want to read more on my blog, go to www.theviablealternative.com. I keep on saying this in every damn video. I'll say it again. I haven't updated it in a while, but dude, I got tons of blogs in that, Go make yourself happy. I've written stuff about the old foibles in my own life and stuff I learned, so you should get some stuff out of that. And I release a video every week, or I do my best to. If you want to read more, if you want to, just subscribe to my video channel. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Subscribe to my video channel for regular updates and videos. And please click on like, and if you like what I have to say, leave a nice, warm, fuzzy comment, Yes, you can also follow me on Twitter, The Viable Alt. And that's all what I had to say right now. And also, as a final thing, I also think I'm not one of those people not allowed to settle either. And like I said, it is what it is. Anyway, take care. Listen to your heart and face your destiny. Face what God is calling you to do, or the universe, or whatever. Take care, God bless, and deuces. Peace.